Carlos!
All right. What's up?
What is up, Carlos? How are you? Welcome
I'm
to
good, brother. How you
presented
doing, man?
by the New York Latino Film Festival.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you, man.
Thank you for having me, bro. This is awesome. My
Of
New York
course.
peeps. New York peeps.
New York. I mean, you spent some time here. You spent some time here doing some stuff. Always.
Yeah.
You are hashtag blessed, hashtag working, Carlos. Always.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I've been going back to New York for like the past, ever since the Heights. I've been going back and forth for like the past 6-7 years more on a regular basis. So it's like my second home really right now.
That is amazing. Cash the checks, Carlos. Cash.
Trying, brother. Trying to keep it busy.
You got to. It is, but I mean, you have had such an amazing career. Like literally across, like what, 40 years? Like you started on Broadway as a dancer?
Almost. Yeah, I started on Broadway as a dancer. I was 24, 25 when I started. Yeah, almost. Yeah.
And now you're a big old TV star on ABC Network TV.
I know, man. It's funny because I've done a lot of TV stuff, but this is like my first big network regular role on a show. So it's really exciting, and to be with the whole all Latino cast is even cherry on top. So
yeah, and all Latino cast, but such a cast of phenomenal actors. Like Victor was on the show last week, and I mean, I can't stop. We're fans. We're episode 4
Thank
in.
You, man.
I have so many questions, Carlos. I have so many things I want to know. But first, I don't want to assume that everyone out here has seen the show. So if you can, just catch us up a little bit about what the show's about, and specifically your character of Rafael on the show.
Okay, sure. The show is based on an Israeli TV show called The Baker and the Beauty. And it's really based about my oldest son, Daniel Garcia, falls in love with this celebrity influencer when he goes out with his fiancée to go out to dinner one night. And that relationship sparks something between them. And it's really how it affects us as a family. We live in Miami. We're a Cuban family. We own a bakery on Southwest 8th Street in Calle Ocho, which is a very popular area in Miami. And we have this wacky family. I'm the father. I play Rafael Garcia. I'm the owner of the bakery. And it's a family-owned bakery, so we all work the bakery together. I have my dreams of what I want my sons and my daughter to what I see as their future, and that's not what they see, and that's where our conflicts ensues and craziness ensues.
Parent stuff.
Exactly.
Exactly. Your vision. You mentioned family so much, and I think this is one of the most beautiful things about the show is that family, community, and the beauty of it and within the Latinx experience is something that we at the New York Latino Film Festival cherish, and it's something that is the embodiment of your show. And that's why we love it so much. So stuff has been going down with Rafael. I saw that nice scene last week where it was just like, you thought everything was good between him and Daniel. Right. And now it feels like, I don't know, Rafael might not be so supportive. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's like I said, and this happens with a lot of immigrant families, happened with Kevin Rosario in the Heights, where we have this image, especially being immigrants, of what we want. It's like the dreams that we had in this country. We want our kids to have that dream, and they have their own dreams, We have to let them do their own thing. And he's been with Vanessa for 4 years, Vanessa is part of our family. She's, I'm sure that I have a relationship with her father. We're especially in the Latinos, when your son is going out with somebody for 4 years, it's a family thing. It's a done deal. It's pretty much set in stone. Yeah. So when Vanessa comes in, Mari's really excited, but I'm a little bit more cautious because I don't know really where this is going, and I know my son, and I know where his heart goes, and I don't want him to get hurt. So that's a big part of our issues.
Yeah. He may not necessarily be doing the right thing, but he's doing it out of love.
Exactly.
So I have a confession. Like your character, I'm also a Rafael. My middle name is Rafael, and my dad's middle name was Rafael.
All right.
And watching you on the show, you remind me so much of my dad. It's crazy. And my dad passed away 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And before he passed, he told me 2 things. One, he apologized to me for never hitting the lotto.
Con tanto que he comprado, mijo, pero.
He was like, yo, I never hit the lotto. I'm so sorry. Because that was always the thing with him. He was like, I'm going to hit the lotto, I'm going to hit the lotto. So that was the thing.
Right.
And then the second thing was, and this is what reminds me of him and why I'm telling you this story. He apologized to me. He said, I'm sorry I never loved you in the way that you wanted me to, but I loved you in the best way that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that in Rafael.
Yeah, and that's very cool. That's a good, yeah.
And, you know, and Daniel's not the only character that he's having some stuff with. I mean, but Belissa's character, the daughter, ooh, like I can't wait to see. She is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, she is such a special little, and we have some incredible scenes in this episode coming up. We have some really, really interesting stuff happening, where you're going to see a whole different side of Rafael and Belissa, and you know how we navigate that situation. She was a find. You know, when we did our table read, the first time that we all sat, and first of all, I see down the table, it's like all Latinos. And we start doing this table read, and Belissa opened her mouth, and I just thought, like, we got gold here, you know.
Gold.
Because this is her first TV series. Her
no
first.
Way. Wow.
Way. And her comedic timing, her sense of comedy is so amazing, and her timing is so, and you can't teach that. You can't buy that. You know, she's young, and she just has it in her, you know.
Yeah, and she has these, like, these beautiful, small, nuanced moments. Specifically last week when, you know, so we're talking about a character who right now is on the, would it be safe to say, on the verge of coming out? Like, you
she's
know,
on the verge. Yeah, she's not
questioning
sure
her
yet,
experience.
You know, she's not sure. So
yeah,
but yeah, she's battling like a lot. You know, a lot of kids that you know, especially Latinx's and stuff, that are battling and how to tell the parents and how, you know, and if it does happen, is how are the parents going to react? You know, I mean, I might react differently than my wife, and we all have these expectations. You know, even though we talk about it, but we all have our different feelings and our different ways of dealing with it. And I think you're going to see it played beautifully tonight and in the upcoming episodes with her character. Well, and Daniel and I mean David Mateo, he's like the goofball, where you know I like, have always been like, you know, el jodedor de la familia, you know, chivando la vida, always like making jokes and stuff. So I've never really taken him seriously, you know. And then stuff starts to happen where our relationship changes too, which is, it's really, really special what goes on. I mean, I tell you, as a family, we're going to go into some really heavy waters in the next few episodes.
Yeah, and I feel it, and it's tangible. And for those of you who are out there who have not seen the show, you can binge it right now. The show, the new episode comes on at 10. You can watch on Hulu. There's 3 episodes. You can catch up right now. Because tonight is gonna go down. It's gonna
go down. Yeah, you can do a little micro binging. You know, you can see the first 3 on Hulu and ABC On Demand, and see the 4th one tonight. It's it's exciting, man. It's really exciting to have an all Latino cast, to have the pride of people loving the show. I've been doing this for over 30 years. Aside from The Heights, I've never been a part of like a TV show that I've received so much love and so many positive comments. And so much, you know, just as a Latino, to be proud of portraying a family that's positive, that's in a positive light. We don't sell drugs. We're not narcos. We don't steal. You know what I'm saying? We're just like a regular family trying to make it. We just happen to be, you know, Latino. So it's special, man.
And on top of that, we're going through what we're going through collectively, you know, as a world. And it's a beautiful time just to kind of sit back and be reminded that there is love out there, there is family out there, there is community. So for those of y'all who have not seen it or need to get catch up now. You know, we mentioned love a lot. Last week's episode was a love letter to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
What was it? So you shot the whole series in Puerto Rico, but last week was the first time you played Puerto Rico as Puerto Rico, because you're usually playing like Miami. Yeah, what was the experience like of shooting on the island?
We we doubled Puerto Rico for Miami. The show takes place in Miami, but we shot like you said, the whole series in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was so special, not only because of the people of Puerto Rico, the fact that they need these financial big companies to come there and spend money, and what we do to the infrastructure of Puerto Rico is, you know, it's beyond bringing a show in like this there. But for us, it was the feeling, again, the love that we got from the people. Our crew is 95% Puerto Rican. So as soon as we walked on the set, it was like we'd hear salsa music playing that the cameraman would play. We'd have cortaditos at the catering. We'd have, todo mundo going, oye, ¿qué es lo que pasó? Everybody speaking Spanish. So the fact that we're playing this family that's Latin, the love that we got on the set just made the family more intense. It made the chemistry between us more intense. And you can see that on the show.
That matters.
We have a chemistry that is, sometimes it takes 2 and 3 years for a show to create that chemistry between the characters. For us, it was like, even before the first day of shooting, we had already gone out. We had been partying. We had gone out to dinner. We were actually hanging out all the time. So that on screen, what you see is the love that we have with each other, with the whole cast.
And you feel it, and that matters. The fact that your crew is 95% Latino matters. I know. I've never had that experience.
Right.
I've never. I mean, usually, we're at a time right now where we're seeing a lot more Latinx-driven content, but oftentimes that's not reflected in the crew. So the fact that you have a crew that's made up of Latinx people like that must be so liberating, because there's a shorthand that happens,
Totally, man. And I think especially with this show, if this show succeeds and it's well, and I think not only crews but producers, writers, we need the backbone of our projects to be Latino pushed.
Amen.
We have to keep it going, and we have to support our projects so that Hollywood can see that we have a momentum, because it's a business. If people do not see our show, if they don't push us, there is going to be no show, and there's not going to be any Latin content.
You better preach, Carlos.
We're going to say, listen, we gave you a chance. We gave you this one. We gave you Gentefied. We gave you this. You guys got to come out and support. One day at a time, vida.
And we have to show up for each other. So we have to show up for each other. And as much as New York Latino Film Festival can do, to push back on the beauty, we're doing it because we have to show up. It's such a beautiful. You all are creating such beautiful work that we have to show up. And this is an honor to sit here with you, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. But listen, like I said, shooting in Puerto Rico was just magical, man. And we all we didn't know what I'd been once in Puerto Rico, but years ago, so we didn't know what it was going to be to live there for 5 months, and really actually be part of our culture. Everybody fell in love with it, even the people who were reluctant at first, it's so far from LA, it's like 5 hours to get to Puerto Rico, but once we were there, the love of the island just engulfed us, man. And we went through hurricanes, we went through earthquakes, we went through a lot of stuff there. With all said and done, it was pretty magical. Yeah.
Well, that just speaks to the resiliency of the island, the resiliency of Latinx culture, and you were able to do it. You got to it, and you created magic.
Yeah,
magic.
Yeah.
So, Rafael Garcia isn't the only father that we fell in love with. I remember seeing you in 2008. Shout out to my best friend Robin De Jesus, who's watching.
Robin De Jesus.
Yes. In the original Broadway cast of In the Heights, you were the original Kevin Rosario.
Yes, I was, man.
What was that like? That experience?
Oh, dude, that was it was such a whirlwind for me, because the way that I got on the show was I was in New York. And, whenever I was in New York, I always tried to support Latin, projects and shows and stuff. And I see this little show off Broadway called In the Heights. And, it kind of got all this buzz. And I'm like, what is this In the Heights thing? Let me go check it out. So I got a ticket. And, the audience was all young kids and talking about In the Heights, In the Heights. And I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. I sat down and I saw it. And after the opening number, my goosebumps were just mind blowing. And I was looking at this thing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was seeing the show, and this 11-minute opening number just put me in a whole other place. And I saw the show. I fell in love with the show. At intermission, I called my agent in LA, and I said, listen, bro, there's a show called In the Heights. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have a feeling the show is going to explode. And I want to keep track of the show because I want to be in the show. I don't care what I do. I will clean the floor in the back of the stage. I just wanted to be involved with the talent and the passion that these people had for what they were doing in theater, because I hadn't seen that in a while. Cut to like 4 months later, my agent calls us. You're not going to believe it. The show's going to Broadway, and they're replacing they're gonna bring in a new dad. Do you want to audition? And I was like, you're freaking kidding me. I flew myself to to New York. I auditioned. Like 3 months later, I got hired. I was way over my head because I'm a film and TV actor. I hadn't done like leads on Broadway like that before. I had 2 songs that I was going to sing. So, you know, once I said, okay, it's like when you say, yeah, I could ride a horse. And then you're actually on the set riding a horse. You're like, oh, this is a lot harder than what I thought, you know. And, you know, but I hung in there, you know, I was part of it. I was, you know, I went through, you know, there were some tough times there with the company, but it was one of the best experience of my life. And to this day, the In the Heights family is still part of my family. I consider them like, you know, I'm still talking, you know, me and Robin and Eliseo Roman, we met in Puerto Rico with Anthony Ramos and the guy who's doing the lead in the Heights. We had a blast. I mean, when you go through an experience like that with another Latino cast, and you just feel that your pride kind of gives you a little, there's a little more to show, and there's a little more at stake. You know, it's not just a show, but it's a show that you're representing your culture. You're representing being Latino. So everybody's work just kind of, you bring it up a notch, you know.
Because through something like that, like I always say this, like In the Heights released such good karma into the universe because you all liberated the people who came to see the young, you know, Latinx, Black and brown people who see it, because that was the first time we got to see ourselves on stage with such joy, with such community, with such love. That and it didn't stop when it closed on Broadway, because now it's in schools and it's in universities, and that love, you know, keeps continuing to happen. And everyone I know who has done that show, regardless wherever, you know, feels that magic.
You know that you have a part of In the Heights with you for the rest of your life. I totally feel that.
Yeah, it changes your life. It literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Azuka Poeta, it changed her life as well. I want to know, what was the biggest gift that In the Heights gave you?
You know what? It was the feeling of really being proud of my heritage, continuing my work in this career. Because, you know, I was always like, yeah, I'm Latino and stuff, but now I use my Latinism as a shield, like a pride. I walk in that door, I walk in that audition saying, I'm Latin. And you're going to get so much more of me as a character if I'm playing Latin than if I just play him as a regular guy. So for me, it upped my confidence level a lot about playing Latinos in stage or on film or on TV. So
because I mean, you've been in this business for a long around 40 years.
Like so 35 years. Yeah. And I played, you know, from every drug dealer to every gang member through, you know, I played some funny roles here and there, but it has never been like, you know, we get sprinkled little parts here and there, but there's never been a momentum, you know, like the African Americans have. We haven't had that momentum, you know, and that's
getting back to what we said earlier. Like, we're in a moment right now, and we need to take this moment and turn it into a movement. And that's how we do it. That's how we show up, you know, watch each other's stuff, show up on, like, on theater, come to see it. And we continue so that this goes beyond just this moment in time right now.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't die out. You know, that we just keep creating content and keep you know, supporting each other.
Amen. We're gonna start answering some questions. So if you all could do me a favor, you viewers, hit the little question box and write your question in that box as opposed to the comments, so that we can throw them to Carlos. We have one. Oh, this is a great question. What do you miss most from shooting in Puerto Rico?
Wow, the mofongo. The fried food, not really.
Clogging my arteries, Carlos.
You know what it was? It's you know, every morning coming into that crew and feeling that love from that crew, man. We couldn't wait to get to work every day, you know. And when you do something that you love, and you come and there's people that around you that love you for what you're doing, I miss the people, man. The people of Puerto Rico is what I miss the most. It was magical. Yeah. And the weather too.
and the weather, and also like you said before, when you are shooting, like you create this family, and it kind of feels like, you know, a limb is missing or whatever.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and it happened in the Heights, and you know, you as artists, we create these we're like little orphans. We create these little families of artisticness, and we're creative, and then, you know, we separate from that, and then we're like out in the world, and then until we get our next gig, and we create the other little families. You know, we're like always like little artistic orphans looking for our little families to explore with and stuff. So, but yeah, Puerto Rico was amazing. It was amazing.
Carlos, the boss is saying that he loves you. I don't know.
The boss.
The boss.
The boss, my boss.
Yeah. Oh, he's the boss. What up, boss?
He is the boss. He is our boss.
Boss,
Dean, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, our writer Dean has been so amazing with all of us in letting us explore as characters who we are, sprinkling our personalities in. Me and Mari, me and Lisa Vidal. You know, we have such great chemistry, and we sprinkle stuff just to make it ours and make it, you know. And Dean has been so open about letting us explore and improvise and without losing the structures of scene. And again, it's hard to find in this business. Some writers are just he has been, you know, very, very accommodating to us as performers, and letting us, you know, feel it out and put our personalities into these parts to create them.
Well, thank you, Dean, because what you're doing is magic. Because anytime I get to see Lisa Vidal go off and dance, like your chemistry and your banter is magic. So thank you.
Yeah. No, and that's another thing with Lisa Vidal. You know, acting is like, it's like a tennis match, you know. It's like you receive and then you give it back, and you receive, and it's like dancing. It's like dancing, really, because you're only as good as your dance partner. You know, if your dance partner is kind of clunky and like, you know, it's not going to look good. But when you have a good dance partner and you feel the chemistry, that's what me and Lisa Vidal have in this show. It's just like this openness, this chemistry, and this sense of play that we're always throwing each other stuff. I don't know what happened, dude. My phone just said like something about temperature, because I had it on a cradle.
We just creating too much heat right now, Carlos. It's like, that's what it is. Exactly we just too caliente.
Emergency. I was like,
that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We were just saying, like, you know, I'm single, so I was just giving out them single vibes. And
that's funny, man. I hear somebody else too in the conversation, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
It might be some static. I don't know. Is it?
It's like a whole other interview somewhere.
That is weird.
Oh, it's like a backup. It's like,
yeah, it might. So we'll do our best.
Okay.
We had a question: best advice for an aspiring Latinx actor.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's like I'm hearing myself. It's like a feedback. The best thing I think, you know what, is to study, man. You know, a lot of people tell me like, you know, I'm going to try this acting thing. And it's like, you know, I've been doing it for 30 years. It's not like an acting thing, you know. Like, you got to train, you got to go to school, you got to like prepare yourself, because this is an industry, man, you know, and you got to come prepared when you do these jobs. There are millions of dollars at stake.
Amen.
And, you know, it's important to be prepared. So I think preparation is the best advice I think.
Preparation.
Yeah.
Another question: was it hard for you to transition and sing in the Heights, coming from the film TV world?
Yes, it was.
I'm still here. Don't worry.
Are you there? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it was, because, you know, I'm so used to film and television that I wasn't, you know, I hadn't done a lot of musical theater leads before. So it was difficult, man. And the cast was so talented. I kind of came into a machine that was already running. So I kind of had to jump on board, and you know, they had already been off Broadway for a while and stuff. So it was a little bit of a struggle at first to, like, you know, be able to mesh in with the company. But you know, once I started getting more confident and the cast was so supportive, then it worked out. But
yeah, but may I toot your horn for a little bit, just because you brought something so dynamic to that role, like the dinner scene. in the Heights. For anybody who knows it, I will always remember your Kevin in that moment that you had with Nina, where you say, why couldn't you just ask me? And then she says, what would you have done? And then you would have these acting moments there that not everybody else had. So you brought your own level. You were a beast, Carlos. So don't be like, oh, because I was amazing.
No, but it's funny because I knew what I could bring acting wise to the part. I knew what I wanted to do with that part as a father figure, as the relationship. And Mandy was such a dream to work with. And
shout out to Mandy Gonzalez.
Because I come more from the acting experience more than musical theater, and I wanted to bring a reality to that part more than a musical theater reality, but like a real reality. And I think that's what Lynn saw in my audition, and that's why probably got hired. But and then again, Chiara Alegria, who wrote the In the Heights, she wrote some great scenes to play. They're not usually musical theater scenes. Again, for me, it was like, this is an acting part that I really want to extend and I want to, do something with. So I had a blast. Olga Meredith was another great, actress that I got to work with. I mean, the whole cast was amazing.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but it does. I mean, you got In the Heights and you got Baker and the Beauty.
I know, man. And there's so many similarities because, again, it's an all-Latino cast. It's about a family. It's a positive image of us on, first on theater, on stage, and now on film and television and on TV. That it's like, it's a little bizarre that I'm going kind of through the same increments of dealing with, these positive images of Latinos. And I'm super proud to be the dad to represent.
Yeah, accept it because it's a blessing. And
it is a blessing.
It's going to continue, and hopefully, you all will get a season 2 and a season 3 and a season 4. And you'll continue to spread these messages.
Yeah.
Again, for those of y'all who haven't, check out Baker and the Beauty. Carlos Gomez, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. Sorry about the mishap.
No, don't worry.
Pleasure, man.
It is what it is, and we keep rolling and we keep it rocking because we Latinos, and that's what we do.
That's right.
We are resilient and we are proud.
We get the job done.
Amen. Carlos, thank you for hanging out with us on Dulce.
Thank you, brother.
Presented by the Latino, New York Latino Film Festival. I'm Dominic saying peace out, and don't forget to focus in this crazy ass times on the sweetness of your life. Peace.
Thank you, brother.